All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Yahweh Shemel Shah Brakathum, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. This is Ainai Ya'alef, uh, the beloved truth, GMS, the beloved truth. And today's lesson is based on some more current events. Sure, you brothers heard about what happened on Friday the 13th. Hint, hint, Friday the 13th. Uh, Nothing but Illuminati, day where they basically, the Paris terror attacks, them, I believe, bombing. I have a couple of suicide bombers at a concert or whatnot, and a lot of people, calling it, they calling it a false flag, what have you, and but this is nothing more than the elite's agenda, whether it was a false flag or whether they allowed this to happen, which is more than likely they allowed this to happen due to the whole Syrian refugee thing. So I got a couple scriptures, I got a few articles, just to just to show you um, what's basically going on, what's taking place, and in your world, and what it's leading up to, basically, because they having that climate summit in you know France coming up very soon. I believe, I don't know if it's December or if it's starting sometime early next year. But they're having a climate summit, which they are going to talk about carbon tax and all these things that affect the environment and what implications they need to bring in. So prior to that, we're going to see a lot of changes globally. You know, not just overseas, but over here in America. So and a whole lot of more rights being taken away from the average Americans, and America, going into a whole lot of turmoil. One of those things is more terrorist attacks here in America, because terrorists to come to America, you know, and I got a few articles to basically prove that, and to show you what's happening in Paris is nothing but a pretense to what's going to happen in America. So, I'll just start with this one. Everybody should know Friday the 13th, which is nothing but Illuminati, you know, one of those Illuminati satanic ritual days or whatever, the number 13 in itself, and Friday, being the fifth day of the week or whatever, however you want to break it down. We already know, they carry out the attacks precisely, and they don't do things. They do things decently in order. All right. So here we go. This is terror attacks. Obama defends ISIS strategy as Holland says France is at war as it happens. All right. So we got two things that's happening right here. Um, we got the fear mongering, selling the fear through the terrorist attacks. And while that's happening, the agenda for beefed up borders and state of emergency and more military and more oversight of those nations over there. This leads nothing. This leads into events where they starting to, how can I say, watch over people more. All right, with their military presence, whether it be eye retina scan, biometrics, okay, or any other implication that they need to tie in, so they can basically have tabs on everybody. And I'm surprised the talks haven't. I haven't heard anything about them tagging these refugees, which might be, what's about to basically happen. Because they gotta have oversight of these refugees, because word is that, and I'm not gonna read this article. I just wanted to point those two points out. And France is at war, and I'll get to this. But my first point being that Um, you know, Paris, what happened in Paris is a pretense to what's going to happen here in America. And the refugees that they basically allow over there in Paris are nothing more than uh, ISIS recruits slipping through the cracks using passports as a means of transportation, or fake passports as a means of transportation, and uh, and uh, and to prove that it's a pretense, I have this article, but I just deal with this first one. I mean, with the second article, and then I get into how France is a pretense to what's going to happen here in America. So it says, revealed, two of the jihadis sneaked into Europe via Greece by posing as refugees and being rescued from a sinking migrant boat. And survivors say one of the attackers was a woman. All right. Okay, so you got a lot of this going on. It says this is the face of one of the Paris killers who allegedly sneaked into France by posing as a refugee after being rescued from a sinking migrant boat, as it emerged as a woman and three brothers may have been part of the eight-strong ISIS kamikaze terror squad. A Serbian media claims that Ahmed Al Muhammad, 25, whose Syrian passport was found on the body of a suicide bomber, allegedly blew himself up at a Bataclan concert hall, where at least 89 people were slaughtered on Friday. The newspaper Bleak claims Al Muhammad arrived with another of the bombers in Europe on the Greek island of Leros on October 3rd on his way to Paris. Greek website Protothema have published ferry tickets showing the name of the second man, Mohammed Al Muhammad, who could be a relation. French police are hunting 26-year-old Salah Del Slam from Brussels, who is accused of renting a Volkswagen Polo used by the suicide bombers who killed 89 people at the Bataclan music venue on Friday. All right, so what it's just showing you is that these ISIS members who are basically U.S. Backed. These ain't nothing but non-government operators who got those got weapons, accidentally, quote unquote, who basically is set up to generate the uncivil rest and to spread the fear. Okay, so this is nothing more but a pretense, as I keep saying, for more attacks to happen in America. What proves that? Uh, here's a here's a video real quick. All right, Obama increases number of Syrian refugees for the U.S. resettlement to 10,000. All right, and mind you, ISIS said that they were going to start basically attacking the U.S. There's articles on that. If not, I guarantee I could look up one right now. Um, Slovakia. So we already know what basically ISIS is doing, and there's no way Obama is basically defending, these refugees to come over here in large groups of, large numbers, and so he's basically allowing these guys to come over and to basically come over here and stir some shit up, which America is going to get stirred up one way or another. And this is just, a pretense. Here you go. All right, so I'm gonna just stop it there. But basically, they're already claiming that they got people over here, so it makes no sense for Obama to to increase the number of refugees, all right, to 10,000. So but that's all, like I said, a pretense to what America is about to head into: beefed up police state, military, and Obama already declared, starting with Bush, America as a war zone. So we already know those implications are in place before the shit hits the fan, or before people even know what's going on. So, you know, um, I'll play this video really quick. Now, now, now we already know that these ISIS members are basically, slipping through the cracks, um, pretending to be refugees, posing to be refugees, so they can basically infiltrate a country, and do what's part of their agenda, which is to stir up the civil unrest, and to be fear mongers, all right, and to scare the people. One of those, and there was a guy brought that out by the name of Alan Watt. He basically explain how the agenda works with the with the so-called white man's, how he basically brings in his new world order, all right, through these institutions and through these you know these little secret organizations. Okay, um, so now that we see the hypocrisy and see how basically they keeping the borders open, is only so they can bring in more you know more terror, basically, Salakia. So with that, just to show, I got another video to show you that the U.S. is all about covert operations. In this case, they're talking about Iran, but if you're in the know, you know they have talks like this behind closed doors about their own soil. The elites. So I'll just play this real quick. So in this case, they're gonna break what regime? Democracy, because they got to bring anarchy in. All right, because like I always mention, democracy is only the first form of society's norm, and then that's when the anarchy comes in, because it's two forms of democracy. Democracy is set up first, and then anarchy is set up so they can bring in the new world order. It's pressure from above, pressure from below. All right, so problem, reaction, solution. All right. So, but another thing I want to mention, I was reading this book, Global Governance, and they bring out everything that they're saying right now. Covert operations. They even know of more terror taking place, and they even want to globalize and bring in the military and bringing the UN and basically to take over societies. And you know, I know you brothers are aware of the FEMA regions, so they're gonna bring those in, and you know, basically, you know, it's just all a part of their agenda. All right. Now, for the sake of time, um, this is another article, and you know, I just brushed past the, you know, probably the title and then a paragraph or so. And you know, this will basically this is what it's leading to, and this is the second form of what I was trying to explain earlier. You know, France is at war. You know, they declare a war immediately on Syria, and one of the things they said was Assad was being so soft, his regime is being so soft, he's allowing the Syrians to come in. Now we know that's a lie because the weapons that Syria, I mean, that the ISIS has is from the Syrian rebels, and you know, and it's spilling over into their hands, and so you know they coming in, they basically coming in and using those weapons to basically start the ruckus, so to speak. Okay, start the commotions of the world. All right, and you know I'm gonna get to the scripture. I got scriptures, and you know what? I'll just go ahead and start with Isaiah 13 because this, you know, this right here, this is what it's leading into the prophecies. All right, all this is leading into the prophecies, the you know the state of emergencies because of the terror attacks. You know these the Paris, it's all a pretense, man. So it says, is France bombing Syria the start of World War III? Okay, it says rumors of the beginning of World War III have swirled for weeks, but with France retaliating against the Islamic State, could this be it? French President Francois Hollande uh, called the attackers on Paris an act of war before responding with bombs of their own against the Islamic State. Now, a part of their war on globalization is that they need, like Syria is the last stronghold other than Iran. So they get Syria out the way and they take away Iran's ally. And then that's when they go into Iran. All right. So this is nothing but more than you know, it's one thing leading up into another, but the prophecies are taking place. All right. So Slaki. Well, this is all in the scripture. So um, I'll go to the Isaiah 13 and 4. It says, you know what? I can start at 2. You know, because it starts with us, and then you know us going out there and declaring what's happening, setting the standard. And I'll read that, and then I'll get to the point, which is verse 4. It says, Isaiah 13:2, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, and they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. So though it starts with us, and then it's ultimately talking about the angels of the Most High. All right, so because he's stirring up the war over there in the Middle East, Joel 3. You know, he's bringing the nations together, and this is the point right here. Isaiah 13:4. It says, "The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle." So ultimately, the Most High is bringing all these nations together to war. All right, it's the Most High's doing. Okay, because it's part of His grand scheme of getting America out the way, as far as bringing judgment on this place, America, for the iniquity and the atrocities that it has done to the 12 tribes of Israel's. Everybody from the uh, the North American Indians, from the Negroes to the Latins that's of native descent. All right, so they basically have to pay that back. All right, so all right, that ends that scripture, and here's Jeremiah I believe Isaiah 51 and 40. No, Jeremiah 51:46. Uh, Slakia. Okay, and because basically this is, for the most part, is rumors. All right, but you're not supposed to be, afraid. And I'll start with Jeremiah 51:46. And lest your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that. Oh, Salakia. Well, let me get this first. Let me get Proverbs. Salakia. I'll get this first. I'll read this, and then I'll go to the Jeremiah. Let me see. This is let me see, Proverbs 3, and about the 25th verse. It says, "Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh." Because basically, when these terrorist attacks happen, not that we with the ISIS, because the spirit of the Lord is basically bringing all these things in the world, all the destruction and all the things that's happening in the world. The Most High is putting spirits on people to do them. All right, what so it can cause, bring these prophecies to pass, according to Luke 9:21, which I'll get. But I'll finish this. It says, I'll read it again. It says, "Be not afraid of sudden fear," because that's what's going to befall these Americans. Sudden fear because of the terrorist attacks that's going to be taking place, thanks to none other than people like Obama or what's her name, Bill Clinton's wife, Hillary Clinton. Um, people like this, because they're calling for open borders. They're calling for refugees to come in. And these refugees is nothing more than uh, freaking ISIS. You know, you know, posing as refugees. All right. So they're posing as refugees, and so it says, "Neither of the desolation of the wicked," because basically that's all that's happening. These people are wicked out here, and they basically getting what the Most High has got for whatever's in store for them. You know. So we gonna be witnessing it, and it's gonna be some terrible things happening here in America, and we ain't gonna know what to do. But we know, all in all, those that's in the know, we know who's behind the mischief. We know who's behind the wrong, these doings. The shadow government, however you want to say it, the elite, the Zionists, or the Illuminati bloodline, or however you want to say it. All right. It says, and believe me, they already have institutions out there, or secret societies that's basically honing in on the children of Israel, and basically trying, already got it set up to where they're gonna come against us when these things pop off, so to speak, for a lack of better words. It says, "Neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh, for the Lord shall be in thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken." All right, so we all know it boils down to faith, having faith, and not letting, and knowing what's going on, all right, and not being taken unawares, like the scriptures say, all right. So this is Jeremiah 51:46. "Unless your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her." All right, so, and that's basically what we're going into: the turmoil, the tyranny, the craziness that's going to be happening. As the scriptures say, man, it's gonna be like in Matthew. I'll just get it real quick. Matthew chapter 24, Salakia, 24, and about the about the 21st verse. This is Matthew 24:21. "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor never, nor ever shall be. And except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right, and that's what we're coming into. The spiritual power is coming, where the Lord is going to guide his elect. The 2/3 are going to be slowly be getting judged, but surely they're going to be getting judged. These Americans going to be getting judged. Babylon as a whole. When I say America, I mean Babylon. When I say Babylon, I mean America, vice versa. All right, so that is that one. Let's see what else I got. Oh, Luke 9. No, Luke 21:9. All right, because it's basically going to break down what's going on. It's Luke 21:9. It says, "But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified." All right. What is that? The terrorist attack? That's a commotion. Well, because the shadow government that's ruling the American, that's in the crevices in the American government, that's actually running the policy, foreign policies, the CFR, Council of Foreign Relations, IMF, the World Banks. They're the ones that's running these schemes, so they can bring in ultimately that their new world order. And what circumvents that, surrounds that, is that the RFID chip, all right? And them bringing the terror upon the world and them bringing control of the world. So one of those commotions is those terrorist attacks, all right? So back to the scripture, it says, but when ye hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. But the end is not by and by, all right? So what do it mean by and by? It means, it takes a little time. You, you theos, you theos. All right, let's see if it'll play.
Strong's G 2112,
Yeah.
Eutheos.
So it says straight.
Thayer's lexicon, related entry, Eutheus.
All right, so it's not gonna happen straightway immediately or forthwith, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen gradually. All right, the end ain't gonna be right there. There's other things that has to take place. Okay, so go back and I'm gonna finish the scripture and I'm gonna close out. Because this is important for you brothers to know what's going on and how things is going to translate from one thing to another. All right, and this article just shows you that forgery of the past ports that the ISIS was using, which is no more than generated by CFR and all these other shadow governments that basically have rule over these countries. All right. All right. I believe that's the last of my article, so I just ended on these scriptures. All right. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. So it ain't gonna happen immediately. There's things that have to take place. All right. Then said he answered them, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. That's in France. Let me see. Yeah, France. They saying France is at war. All right, and this one's asking, is France bombing Syria at the start of World War III? Because once they bomb Syria and get Assad out the way, then that's when they go on heap up and go into Iran. But as long as Russia being that guard dog, like the scriptures saying, I believe is Ezekiel 38, things are going to kind of be postponed. All right. So it says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places. Luke 21:11. And famines and pestilence. So we got all these things to, not just famine of food, but famine of the word. And pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. And we see the blood moons already. All right, and we seeing earthquakes in diverse places, and we seeing somewhat of the famines in Venezuela, and pestilences, and the Ebola and MERS, and things of that nature. We're seeing these fearful sights and great signs and all of that. Um, but the ending just here, just yet. We at the very end, but it ain't. We'll know when it's the end, basically. When Yahweh Shai crack the sky open. It says, verse 12, Luke 21:12. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. All right. In settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolks and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. All right, so we know that's coming. All right, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. All right, and that's happening now as we speak. All right, but there shall not an hair of your head perish, and your patience possesses your soul. So when we wait in this thing and keep doing the work and keep having that integrity and keep going out there on the highways and byways and not being lukewarm, um, and being wholeheartedly into this thing of ours and doing this thing, man, with all our might and all our soul, man. The Most High is gonna have us, man, in that day, man. As Sirach 2 says, I believe. You know, a lot of you know these scriptures already. And so I'll just close out with 2nd Ezra 9 and 1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest the part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world, which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. All right. So with that, I'm gonna just say Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Brakathum, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom, and keep watch because it's the shit is finna hit the fan. And and stay faithful, Akim. So and stay prayerful. Uh, Most of all. So Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Brakathum.